All right. Welcome to the Way to a Great Marriage Cast.
Hello.
And I am Tony, and this is LaRonda. LaRonda is going to read one of Miss Omi's songs. Omi is LaRonda's mother, so this is dedicated to her.
Hi, everybody. This is called, let me get my glasses on. This song is called God's Grace. And I didn't know the tune to it, so I just wanted to read it to you. I can hardly find words to say when I think about God's amazing grace. How He reached down and saved me from all of my dirty sins. There's no match for this marvelous grace and the love I feel within. God's grace, God's marvelous grace. Oh, I cannot find the words to say. He is so wonderful and strong. His love goes on and on. He is so wonderful and strong. His love goes on and on. He is so wonderful and strong. His love goes on and on. He is so wonderful and strong. My phone's going crazy. Sorry.
There it is.
Please don't delay God's marvelous grace. My faith looks up to you, my Lord. May your grace to me impart. Give me strength and hold my hand. Make me strong and warm my heart. Chorus is God's grace, God's marvelous grace. Oh, I cannot find the words to say. He is so wonderful and strong. His love goes on and on. Please don't delay God's marvelous grace. And that was written September 26th, 1997. Thank you, Lord, for all these wonderful songs that you give Mom.
Somehow or another, her phone has more buttons than mine do. I can't find the down button for it on the volume. Anyway, so today's Waycast, Way to a Great Marriage Cast title is Anger Yields Anger and Wisdom Yields Patience. It's Rick Warren preached this a week ago today, I think. So we got behind.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But we will catch up with him eventually. He's in the Crazy Maker series. Everybody seems to have a crazy maker in their life these days. You Make Me Crazy series. And so I will read the devotion that comes with his email. When someone hurts you, you have a choice. And so Proverbs 19:11, a person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. Hurt people hurt people. And that's something that comes from Celebrate Recovery. Rick Warren is very instrumental in Celebrate Recovery, and so he takes a lot from Celebrate Recovery, and I'm sure we take a lot from him. But hurt people is one of the things that we learn from Celebrate Recovery. That usually, if somebody is hurting you, it's because that they have been hurt themselves in their past. Usually, something that happened in their childhood. I've learned probably the first 4 years of their life, and many people that seems to put you on a path of destruction. But when someone hurts you, it's because you've been hurt, because they've been hurt. Unkind people don't feel kindness themselves. Unloving people feel unloved. When someone is rude, bitter, unkind, sarcastic, mean-spirited, or arrogant, they are shouting with all of their behavior, I am in pain. I need massive doses of love. I do not feel secure. It's interesting. A porcupine needs love.
Mm-hmm.
Secure, loved people don't act that way. The person who feels deeply loved and deeply secure is generous and gracious to other people. So, how should you respond when someone hurts you? For many people, the knee jerk response is anger. And here's a widely held belief: You have only a set amount of anger in your life. When that bucket of anger is full, you need to pour it out to express your anger. Then, when the bucket is empty, it will be uh, cathartic. And so, I guess they feel like you got to vent. Like the other, that's another misleading number is you're like a pressure cooker. You got to let off the pressure, but venting is not healthy.
I couldn't see you, so I had to turn around.
Look at me there.
Yeah, but you keep looking at me, so I'm looking back.
Oh, okay.
Get down, Katie.
And so
Get down. Get down. Sit down.
And so those were two things. I remember back in the 70s. You remember they would have couples pillow fights and do that to get out their anger, and like I said, they talk about venting. Just you know go somewhere and somebody and vent out your anger, but really those are unhealthy with whoever you're venting with, especially if you're venting on the person that you are angry at.
Right.
They don't deserve that.
Well, it doesn't do any good, whether they deserve it or not. They don't. It doesn't do any good to vent.
Right.
To whoever's hurting you.
Right.
Doesn't do any good.
Right. And so if you believe that you'll struggle with anger for your entire life, the truth is you don't have just a bucket of anger. You have an entire anger factory. That factory can keep on producing and producing and producing. When you get rid of anger you have, you'll get more. In fact, the more anger you throw out, the more it produces. Study after study show that aggression only creates more aggression. Anger outbursts leads to more anger, and so anger becomes your habitual pattern. One of the best ways of dealing with anger. I remember I used to, I used to be with somebody that liked slam doors, and then I got in the habit of slamming doors. Well, the way that you break that habit is you go back and you open the door and you shut it the way that it's supposed to be shut, and that breaks you of that angry habit of uh, of that. And so Bob Boone at Eagle Heights, whenever he was there, he taught a class on anger, and I went to it, and he basically, there's all kinds of unhealthy ways of dealing with anger, but there's only two positive ways of dealing with anger. We studied all of them, but the both kinds, but is to let go and let God, which you have to make sure you're not stuffing it, because stuffing it is an unhealthy way. And the other way is to be assertive, is to say, the other day you hurt my feelings, and I would appreciate it if you would not say that to me or do that to me again. And so that's a positive way of dealing with anger. One of the things I learned is you can be angry and sin not. It's not a sin to be angry, it's just a sin what you do with your anger. So you can't just pour your anger out. Your anger anger bucket will just refill. Instead, you need to let it go. And so that was one of the options. Proverbs, but sometimes as Christians we tend to say we're letting it go, but we're really stuffing it. So we sometimes need to be assertive and speak.
That's me. I usually stuff my stuff until
I don't know. When we're at a restaurant, you're usually pretty assertive when they mess up your steak.
No, I just. Well, the reason I'm that way. But have you ever seen me be bad to a waitress ever?
No.
No, because a friend of mine worked at a steakhouse, and she said, if your steak is not good and it tastes like liver or whatever, they're not going to know unless you tell them. And she said, so always tell us, because we want you to come back. It was Cliff Hagan's Steakhouse here in Brea. It was real expensive steakhouse. And I said, okay, so therefore, That's where I got that. If it's not good to you, you don't have to be mean to your waiter or
But that's being assertive is whenever you say, they come and ask, how is your food? Then you say,
like,
well, it's not
it's
cooked,
tough.
it's not cooked enough, or it's
Yeah.
overcooked, or it tastes
I'm
like liver,
chewing. Yeah.
or
And
something.
then they go, okay, hold on. Let me fix that for
Can you
you.
bring me another one?
Yeah, exactly. Bring me another steak, please.
And then you're not the passive aggressive thing is what I usually do is I just don't ever go back.
Right.
Proverbs 19:11. A person's wisdom yields wisdom. Uh, let's see. Well, a person's wisdom yields patience. It is the to one's glory to overcome an offense. When our goal is to just get even, you're not better than your opponent. To respond wisely, instead, overlook offense. Look past the person's words to their pain. Uh, Offer love and patience. That kind of reminds me of that movie that everybody asks me, "Who are you?" You'll be like, you'll text them. People call me all the time about rental properties, and I'll text them back because I don't want to listen to their life story for the next hour. So I text them back, "What's your situation?" And so they'll be like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "You just called me. I want to say you idiot."
And I suggested to Tony he might come up with something different other than what's your situation. Are you wanting to rent one of our homes?
Well, that's a yes or no question. You want to ask open-ended questions so that they will open up. My idea is that, oh well, I'm getting evicted from where I'm at. It's got mold and it's and the landlord won't take care of it, and them to tell me their life story in a text, and then I can eliminate them because they are getting evicted, or there's
Right.
some reason in what they will tell me in the open-ended question,
Right.
to tell me that I don't want to rent to them. But in doing that, lots of times they will say, "Who is this?" And so, but every time somebody does that, I'm reminded in the movie V for Vendetta when he says "who" is but a is but a form of function. What is what you really mean to ask?
Oh.
What am I? I am a man in a mask, and it is to ask a man in a mask who he is a
It's not a good question. I have a mask
it's but
on.
A silly question, and so and so that's what we have here is you know it, when your goal is to just get even. So I think of that was what V for Vendetta was. He wanted to get even, and I know a lot of people are about that. I used to love the Charles Bronson movies back in the '70s, and the Clint Eastwoods, and
Make my day.
Dirty Harry, and I used to love Chuck Norris and all these.
We watched those too.
All those movies where you tie a bandana around your head like Rambo, and you go get your revenge. You wrap that coil of 45s around your arm, and
just like a beauty pageant,
and attack the sheriff. But we have that. I guess that mentality in America through our media, that we have to get even, and that we can't just let it go, let the other person. And one of the things I've learned is that God's not going to do anything to the other person if I do the vengeance on them.
Right.
And really, I probably would go to jail for what the God would do to these people or does to the.
I'll just ask him to mute somebody's mouth.
And that, but
not
the Bible says, "Vengeance is mine," saith the Lord. And so we're better off just letting Him take his vengeance on people rather than ourselves.
Yeah,
We
and
need to let it go.
I have done a whole lot of things I'm not proud of in my lifetime of all the years. 63 years is how old I am, but I've never sought vengeance out on anybody. I would tell you if I had. But all the bad things that's happened to me, I've never thought I'm going to get back at them. I am going to get back at them and get them for what they did to me. Never has that don't come into my mind. But I've done a lot of other bad things, but I don't want to try to play God. I don't want to be the one that gets, back on somebody.
I know that's your personality.
Yeah.
Is a sanguine. You're the life of the party. You want to
Everybody
you
get along.
You want to get them back on the dance floor.
Yeah, I want to get them. I want to make them happy again. Let's get rid of this unhappiness. I've had that happen to me in a situation this week.
And that's the bad part. With my personality is being a phlegmatic or an empath. You have a tendency to want to be passive aggressive. Get back. Like I said, just if they make me a bad mistake, I just don't go back. And that.
So what about people? Have you ever wanted to get vengeance? I mean, is that part of your personality?
Well, I'm saying I'm using that as an example. That's a person is a
a restaurant. Gotcha.
I'm using that as an example.
Yes.
That
what
I need to do is be assertive or just let it go. Well, they just had a bad day. We'll try.
Yeah. See, that would be me. They didn't mean to run out in front of us and stop. They're probably looking
like
at
that
the
guy
little baby.
almost hit the other day.
Yeah.
And you were like, what are you doing? And as long as I was blowing my horn, I was about to hit him.
I know.
Like, don't blow your horn.
Somebody ran right out in front of us. But I mean, I know how I look at that. That person probably didn't mean to run right out in front of us, but still,
I guess
he could have killed us.
There was a chance that me blowing my horn at him would cause him to slam on his brakes, and then I really would have.
Yeah, you would have.
But anyway.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Oh my goodness! And I was trying to get him to get out of my way.
Yeah, I know. We're here. You're about to hit us.
I could have driven around him. That's one of the things they teach in defensive driving.
Yeah.
The American poet Edwin Markham wrote this short poem. He knew a circle that shut me out, heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. He drew a circle that took him in. So when someone hurts you, you have a choice. You can respond in anger, which will only create more anger, or you can respond wisely in love, overlooking offenses and overcoming evil with good. I hate giving everybody all my little secrets. So, if people are wanting rent off of me, they'll watch this and learn how to handle the questions and not answer
exactly.
And let me know that they're being evicted or don't have any money.
Right.
But another one is I learned from a counselor was if somebody is because I text, because if you're talking to people on the phone, you can't hang up on them. I mean, that would be rude. But a text, what you can do, if in the text you hear that they're angry or upset, or like somebody says, "Who are you?" You can. What I learned to do was wait 24 hours and then respond to them.
Gotcha.
And then that gives you a time to think of an appropriate response that's not a quick anger response and that sort of thing.
You're not supposed to respond angry.
And most people, think that, I don't know why they might think I want to tax. One of the things is you can't hear anybody on these dang things anymore. I tell everybody they're not made to be talked on or to listen to anybody on. You can't hear anybody on them anyway. But by texting, especially, I mean, there's some people who have, who I answer no matter whether they call. Rhonda just got one from a call a second ago that should have been answered, but we're in the middle of the podcast. If it's our children, if it's LaRonda, if it's our parents or relating to our parents, we immediately answer the phone.
Sister, brother.
Or if it's one of my sponsees, I try to answer the phone. And
Like I
that's
did with Marilyn today.
yeah, and so those kind of things we may answer the phone, but it's better if, especially with these telemarketers these days, just to send them a text message back. When have you seen evidence of an angry factory in your life or someone else's? What were the results? Okay. It just keep coming. It keeps on coming.
Well, yeah. I had a conversation with someone really close to me today, and it could have been an angry situation. You know, I chose for it not to be an angry situation. And lots of times,
But it wasn't really fair for you to just sit there and take,
No.
for them to vent and dump on you all of
the bad things
all
that they
the
thought
bad
about me.
things.
Yeah.
That's why I probably would move them over to a texting person.
Well, let me tell you why.
person, but-
Because I did a text, long text, explaining things and wanting to like reconcile, apologizing for anything that I had done or didn't know that I had done. And, but they wanted to tell me what I had done
Right.
to them. And so, but then they misunderstood some of the things in the text that I did not mean. So sometimes text, if you're not talking to someone and you don't know their tone of voice, you don't know if they're mad or if they're just saying.
Well, that's why that it's better, because then they don't see the reflection in your voice. It's just neutral.
Yeah.
And you're better off being neutral than you are being either one.
Yeah. I mean, I stayed neutral.
If the person, if you're having a conflict.
Yeah. I stayed neutral in my voice.
Right.
I didn't raise it or lower it. I usually try to keep it like this.
But as we pointed out, as you, I realized in talking, you telling me about it, they were projecting on you what they were doing,
and they didn't know they were.
Well, I know, but the problem of it is that should alert us when somebody is using projection. They have lost track of reality. They are now in a in psychopathy of some sort.
Well, I just was answering the question to that.
At that point, I know, but once they've gone to that extent, then we should put them at boundaries to protect us.
I think probably there was today.
Okay.
But anyway, I went through that, so I know.
We've been talking about this person for years, so but and some others. I mean, we have these angry makers. I think that's a series. What is this series? The crazy makers. The crazy people in our lives.
And and your husband and wife can make you crazy at certain times too, but you still love them, and
right. But I mean, some people are need professional help.
Yeah, some people do.
We can't really allow ourselves with that to be part of their mental struggle.
I guess not.
We can refer them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't help you, but I can give you some numbers of some.
Well, that would be someone that was only an acquaintance. Yeah. I would only do that to an acquaintance.
No, I wouldn't want to do that to your best friend. But
you think?
Yes.
Oh
yes,
no, I don't know. I couldn't do it probably. That's not who I am.
I wouldn't do that to somebody I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, then they would just think you're belittling.
Yeah, that's true.
And that sort of thing. But somebody is your best friend, then you would say, I can't help you anymore. You really need.
And they would probably say that about me too.
Yes, and so you just let it lie there.
Yeah.
Think of a time that you chose to respond with wisdom and patience instead of anger. What happened? Well, anyway, rhetorical. We'll make these rhetorical. When has someone shown patience instead of anger with you? How did that affect you? And
That
so,
was my mom. She always showed patience with me. She probably wanted to go,
right.
but no. And it always ended up, she always was so wise. She's not passed away. She's still alive. But yeah, that was my mom. She had a lot of patience with me.
So you make me crazy is the thing, and really, I mean, that's what I think that they may be trying to do is try to make us crazy so they can point out to everybody else how crazy we are to deflect from how crazy they are.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I know from experience, there's been 2 instances where people knowing that I was in a Celebrate Recovery meeting called, text me, and it's just they I know that that's what they try to do is, they try to make people, they take people to psychiatrists and try to find something wrong with them, and they make them get on medication for their anger, and because they're a man, that's what we see these days, putting a lot of men on SRIs to control just because they're assertive,
right?
Not necessarily anger, or being assertive because they're to control their anger,
right?
And you're out of control, making them the problem instead of
trying to find a solution
instead of recognizing the real problem.
Exactly.
So, we, that's what we see there, and so, anger is we talked about this before. We think this is the second part. Of
anger.
Of anger.
Yeah.
Anger yields anger. Anger and wisdom yields patience. And so.
Well, I mean, I've never been a person that's had a lot of anger. I've always, my problem is I've always been a people pleaser, or what do we call in Celebrate Recovery? Codependent. Yes. And so I've never had anger issues. Now I've got a lot of family members that have, and I've been around a whole lot of people who really truly have anger issues, but that's never been one. I've got a lot of problems, but anger issues not one of them. I deal with how.
Well, you have enough of sanguine or melancholic, phlegmatic in you.
Yeah.
The empath in you to you swing that way.
I do.
So
yeah. Sissy says I have 3 different ones.
Yeah, you're all 3 of the
same
3.
All 3.
I just go and hide over melancholy, and you go hide over your sanguine.
In my sanguine.
We're just kind of
and then don't we want to get along? I want everybody to get along.
We leave the let's get along.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Can't we all just get along? Can't we work this out in some way?
So you drive me nuts because you're not perfect, and I drive you nuts because I'm too perfect.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think that's the reason we have such a wonderful marriage. The way to a great marriage is you have to accept people for who they are.
And we laugh at each other.
And we laugh all the time. But who was it, the old couple that said they had been married all those years because they didn't try to change each other?
Well, we read that last night.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to try to change you.
Right.
But I will try to stand by your side while you're working on yourself and vice versa,
You can encourage somebody to work on them, but you can't make somebody work on themselves.
No. But if they want to, you can stand by their side while they are, So
anyway, that leaves us with like.
Share,
yes. I'm not on social media, and for many great reasons, but mainly because they shadow ban you and record you. Oh, it went off.
Yeah, our little speaker goes off and on
every time. It needs like an hour instead of a half hour.
Yeah.
But so share because I can't share. Ask questions and comment. We may make your question a one of our waycasts if it's good enough.
Yeah, give us topics.
And then also subscribe. Sometimes we talk. YouTube isn't that friendly with marriage, and so I was listening to Kelly Megyn Kelly last night, and Kurt
Cameron?
not Kurt
Kurt
Cameron.
Cameron?
No,
Oh.
the guy from that goes into the schools was on.
Oh,
he said
okay.
he couldn't put on his YouTube what they were talking about, but Megyn Kelly did. You know, they were talking about the boxing match in the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, I can't put that on there; it'll deplatform me. And you know, and so we talk about issues like that. And so, well, I don't really care if I get any money. I think that's the main thing is they demonetize it. Megyn Kelly probably doesn't care if it gets demonetized either. She's probably rich enough.
Yeah, but now me and you really want to discuss how, as a couple and as the way to a great marriage.
But the thing that is you may not be able to see those if you aren't a subscriber. So
yes, please
subscribe. We had so subscribe. I noticed somebody made a comment, the other day, and I can't. There for a while, I couldn't even see the comment. It hid the comments, and so I was like, well, what's going on here? But anyway, but that's the world we live in, and if you want to really see all the episodes, you need to subscribe and hit the
and then the ding 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 notification.
Hit the ding-a-ling.
Hit the ding-a-ling. Boom boom boom.
And so that you can get the notifications when we're live, so you can come and harass us live, and so you can put us to the test to see if we get angry or not. Okay.
Please don't push us too far. No, just
push all of our buttons.
Push all of our buttons. Yeah. Bing 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 bing. Thank you for joining us though tonight.
Anyway, so with that, we say
good night, until we meet again. Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen till then. And though it's always sweet sorrow to part, you know you'll always remain in my heart. Good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you. Here's a wish and a prayer that everything comes true. And now till we meet again. Adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.
good night.
Love you.
Don't forget, you are welcome.